What's up guys, VitalSyntax here, and welcome to the first episode of the Armory for Crysis 3. This is going to be a series that goes over different class loadout suggestions that include the Nano suit modules, weapons, primary weapons, secondary weapons, attachments, and equipment. So for this first episode, we're talking about the FY7 and its role as a more long-range, fully automatic assault rifle. Now I feel like the Scarab and the Scar, which are the two other fully automatic assault rifles, are maybe better suited for closer and medium range. They seem like they have a slightly higher fire rate, but also have slightly more recoil. So the FY7 seems to be the better long range of the three. But you also have to take into account that there's maybe some better long-range weapons like the Grendel, which is a 3-round burst assault rifle, as well as the Takedown, which is a single-shot assault rifle. Now, I haven't had a lot of experience with those two guns, and I'll have to try them out more with different attachments on there and some of the Nano suit modules. But I really like the FY7, and it's not just a good long-range assault rifle, it's also really good at every range. But we're kind of using the attachments and the Nano suit modules to make it more suited for longer range engagements. So let's go over some of the attachments. We're using the assault scope. It's going to be kind of like an ACOG scope. It allows you to basically take down targets at a longer range. You can swap this out for a red dot if you just rather have, the red dot even at longer ranges, which I think most people probably would, but I like kind of messing around with some of the scopes as well. The match barrel, which supposedly increases your accuracy. Now, we don't have detailed stats on attachments and weapons and things like that, so another good option might be the muzzle brake. I don't know if that makes your gun more accurate by reducing recoil, or if this one makes your gun more accurate but maybe increases recoil if you're going fully automatic. We don't, once again, have all those detailed stats like we have for something like Battlefield 3. But I think from my experience, the match barrel is probably the one that's going to make your bullets a little bit more accurate, unless you're going, fully automatic and not burst firing. And then we're also using the foregrip. This is a great attachment for basically any range to help reduce recoil, and that's kind of what we're going for with those two attachments, as well as one of the Nano suit modules, is trying to bring the recoil down as low as possible. That way you can do longer bursts at longer ranges and stay on target. So for the secondary, we're using the hammer. The hammer is a great option for secondaries at medium and longer ranges. It doesn't have the biggest magazine, doesn't have the highest fire rate, but it does do quite a bit of damage. It's kind of between the Nova and the Majestic 6 revolver. But the hammer is a great choice. They're all great choices as well, but this is the one I'd recommend for more long and medium range. The frag grenade. I feel like the frag grenade is a great option if you're playing something like Crash Site or Spears, where there's objective points, because you can control pretty easily where that grenade's going to go, and you can throw it onto some of those objective points and take out enemies. You can lob it over buildings, you can lob it over different objects around the map, where something like the Jaw, you kind of have to have a more direct route to it. So both are good options, but for this class I'm going to go with the frag grenade. And then for suit modules, this is the most important aspect, I think, of any class that we're going to go over for the Armory. So the first one is Retriever. Now what Retriever does is it automatically retrieves dog tags every time you kill a player. So by default, when you kill a player, they drop a dog tag on the ground. You actually have to run over to their dead body to pick it up. And that's fine if you're in close or medium ranges, because you're probably not that far away from the dead body in the first place. But if we're using a long-range assault rifle or sniper rifle or anything like that, I would suggest using Retriever. That way you don't have to leave your high ground position or move into the enemy's base or move it towards the enemy's flag points that are heavily guarded by other players. That way you can get kills and still get your dog tags to work towards your kill streaks. And on top of that, once you upgrade it, you'll get basically Hardline from Call of Duty, where you get kill streaks in 1 less dog tag. So you'll get a Radar at 2, you'll get the Swarmer at 4, you'll get the, well, it kind of depends on what map, whether you're getting the Swarm or the Orbital Strike. You get the Ceph at, I believe, 7, and the Nano suit at 9. So it makes getting kill streaks a little bit easier, which is also nice, especially if you're using something like a sniper rifle, because you're kind of at a disadvantage, I feel like, in this game with the sniper rifle, just because the game is so fast-paced. It's kind of hard to use a stationary long-range weapon like that. All right, next we're using Aim Enhance. Aim Enhance is really awesome if you're doing long-range, fully automatic fire, because it reduces your recoil quite a bit. Once you upgrade it twice, you'll get it up to 30%, and then it's 20% at level 2, and just the default level 1, it's just 10%. But still, 10% reduced recoil is quite a bit. And once you have that upgraded to level 3, I mean, there's basically no recoil on the gun, especially if you're using something like the flash or the muzzle brake and the foregrip. It's just a really accurate experience. And you don't really have to worry about recoil too much, which is really good if you're trying to do longer range shooting. It doesn't really matter about recoil up close, obviously, because the target's so big up close. So, and then the last nanosuit module we're using is surveillance. Now this is kind of a under the radar type of module I don't see a lot of people using, and I don't have it all the way upgraded myself, but I'm planning to try and work on that. This is a great nanosuit module for longer range engagements, especially if you're using something like a sniper rifle or like an ACOG setup with one of the assault rifles like we're doing in this class, because what it does by default is actually give like a red outline to enemy players, and that consequently makes invisible players a little bit easier to see, because they kind of have this reddish glow outline around the edge of the player character. And also just makes staying on target when you're shooting at an enemy a little bit easier, especially if you're using something like a sniper rifle and you need to be really dead accurate, especially with the headshots and everything. But also, once you upgrade it, what it does is it automatically will tag enemies through the scope. So normally what you have to do to tag an enemy or spot an enemy is you have to bring up your visor. And tagging enemies is incredibly helpful, but it's kind of I don't know, it's kind of a pain in the butt to do, because you have to switch to your visor. You can't use your gun while you're in your visor. You have to tag the enemy and then switch back to your gun before you can shoot. So that's typically something you can really only do at longer ranges. But even then, just having it automated with the surveillance nanosuit module makes it so much easier. And then when you upgrade it the final time, basically makes it so you can't be tagged. That's not really that big of a deal, because most people aren't tagging people. Unless this module becomes more popular, I don't think that's really something that people are going to use all too much. So overall, I think this class is a really good contender for longer ranges. The sniper rifles, like I said in this game, I feel like they could use a bit of a buff, maybe increase the fire rate or something like that, like the Gauss rifle. I think using something like an assault rifle with this type of setup with really low recoil and an assault scope or something is probably a better option for long range than a sniper rifle, unless you're somebody that's really accurate and you go for the headshots, because that's really the only way you can get a one-hit kill if they have armor. Even if you're using a sniper rifle, you have to get that headshot. So I did use this class a couple rounds, and I had a pretty good amount of success with it. I'm more of a fast-paced, in-your-face objective player, so I would prefer probably a more close to medium range approach, and we'll get into some other classes that kind of suit that play style a little bit more in the near future. But thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys found it helpful. Try out the class if you haven't, and leave any suggestions you guys have for the next episode of Armory down in the comments below to hopefully see it in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.